This telecast is copyrighted by HT24 for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or retransmission of this game without the express written consent of HT24 is prohibited.
Come on over to Big Blue Smokehouse and have a good time with great food, mouth-watering barbecue, salad bar, and amazing new appetizers that will have you asking for more. And don't forget about the famous coal fire pizza. And if you're looking for a little Kentucky tradition, they have the best bourbon selection in all of Eastern Kentucky. Hosting a party? They got that covered too, with banquet rooms for all occasions. Good food, friendly service, a place for everyone to eat. Big Blue Smokehouse.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Sweet 16 special here on Hometown 24. And what a treat for us tonight. We're coming to you live from the bar here at Big Blue Smokehouse in Hazard. A lot of people coming in, going in and out. They've got the TVs on here in the bar, and a lot of the basketball games being played in the area and across the country tonight. They were watching them here at Big Blue, and we hope you will, if you're in the area, hey, swing on over, say hello, and stop in here at Big Blue. Get yourself a good meal, and if you'd like an adult beverage, you can have that as well. Just do it in moderation. But welcome with David Adams. I'm Harold Mullins, and we are going to talk a little basketball. And David, it's been an early and long day for us here. We got up early this morning.
Yep.
Went to Rupp Arena, watched the Knott County Central Lady Patriots in the Girls State Tournament, and they were beaten by Ashland 46-34 after a really tough beginning. They kind of settled in, played a little better, I thought, in the second half.
Yeah, Harold, it's good to be with you today, coming from the Big Blue Smokehouse, no question about it. Yeah, the game started out not Central, not hitting some shots, and then Ashland, you know, they hit some shots. Not only that, they cleared the boards. Not Central had trouble rebounding early. Played pretty even with them second half, I thought, for the most part. But they got off to a bad start, got themselves in a hole, and it was tough to come back for them.
Yeah, it really was, and you know, it is just so difficult, David, especially in the state of Kentucky, where you got to work your way through districts, through regions, get to the final 16, play in Rupp Arena. It is so difficult for these kids to do that, and then to go down there and perform at a level that it takes to compete for a state championship. Sometimes it's just asking a whole lot of our smaller schools here in Eastern Kentucky, but it has been a good year. We've got a lot to talk about here tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the girls' state tournament. We'll talk a whole lot about the boys' state tournament coming up next week. We'll throw in a little collegiate ball. The conference tournament's going on right now. We'll talk about that as well. But right now, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will take an in-depth look at just what has happened up to this point in the state basketball tournament and what we will look forward to the rest of the week. We'll be right back.
Come on over to Big Blue Smokehouse and have a good time with great food, mouth-watering barbecue, salad bar, and amazing new appetizers that will have you asking for more. And don't forget about the famous coal fire pizza. And if you're looking for a little Kentucky tradition, they have the best bourbon selection in all of Eastern Kentucky. Hosting a party? They got that covered too, with banquet rooms for all occasions. Good food, friendly service, a place for everyone to eat. Big Blue Smokehouse.
Nestled in the mountains of Appalachia, along the Purpose Road, is a hidden gem, Alice Lloyd College. For 100 years, ALC has been providing opportunities.
Opportunity to learn from the best.
Opportunity to work for my education.
Opportunity to serve my community.
Opportunity to become a leader.
Opportunity to find my life's purpose.
Apply now to find your purpose at Alice Lloyd College.
There's a reason our customers make the trip to Dan Cummins Chevrolet in Paris, Kentucky. There is something for everyone, and with over 2,000 new and used cars to pick from, we make it easy to become part of the Dan Cummins family. We want you to drive away in your new car just like over 10,000 of our satisfied customers have. Visit us at Dan Cummins Chevrolet.
Let me tell you one more time exactly how I feel. I'd rather drive to Paris for a Dan Cummins deal.
In Eastern Kentucky, being connected to the world has never been easier. With our 100 meg package at only $44.95 a month, you can be sure to always stay connected and up to date. But if that's not fast enough, we offer even faster, with the layest technology to make sure you're getting the most out of your service. Give us a call today or check out tgtel.com for more information. Thacker Grigsby, bringing the future to Eastern Kentucky.
Welcome back to the Big Blue Smokehouse here in Hazard, our live Sweet 16 special. I'm Harold Mullins along with David Adams, and it's been a long year, David.
It has.
You know, you and I have crisscrossed the region several times, have seen some good basketball games, both boys and girls. Now the tournaments, the regional tournaments are over. It's time for the state tournaments. Knott County Central, the winner in the girls region. Breathitt County has won in the boys, and they'll play next week at Rupp. But I'd like your thoughts on this season, what we have seen, and the two teams that won. In your opinion, were they the best teams?
Well, you know, from the start of the season, we picked 4 or 5 girls team. We started out with Owsley County, Perry Central, Knott Central, Letcher Central, Leslie, of course. And by the way, I want to say to Coach Sparks, he done a wonderful job at Leslie County and did a great job, and we're all going to miss him as he has decided.
Yeah, he did announce today that he would be stepping down as head coach at Leslie County. That came across the wires earlier. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, that's fine. And you take those 4 or 5 teams. We thought one of those would win, and they did. Knott Central pulling that out. And but you know, Leslie won the All-A this year, and they were playing well. So, and I thought Perry Central at times, Harold, was playing good enough to compete and be in that top 2 or 3 teams. You know. And you look at the boys, we thought Breathitt had the most talent right from the start, and that talent came through, and we thought Perry and Hazard, if Breathitt lost the game, it would be Perry or Hazard beat them. I didn't know if anybody else could beat them. I don't know what you
Well, you know, we thought all along Letcher had a shot.
They did.
You know, we thought they had a shot.
And Letcher, a good ball club this year, so they had a great season too. And I thought the Final Four of the boys region worked out the 4 best teams.
Yeah, I thought so too. And when we talk about the boys a little bit later on, we'll take an in-depth look at that regional tournament. But looking at the girls, hats off to Leslie County. They had put on a good show down there at the Nixon Center, the girls regional tournament. And it seemed like year in and year out, some of the best basketball in the girls division is always played in that regional tournament. And the games are always close and overtimes and all this stuff. And this year was no different, you know. Knott County just happened to be playing the best. I thought at the end, tip your hat to Hazard. I thought they coming out of that district, making it to the regional tournament, winning a game in the regional tournament. You know, they just played above everybody's expectations.
They were probably the surprise of the season. Really.
There is no doubt. But as the state tournament opened up and the girls' state tournament got underway yesterday, as it opened up, it always, it seems, year in and year out, Sacred Heart against the world. And I have seen Sacred Heart play this year. I saw them play yesterday. I just don't know if anybody can beat them, David. They are just so strong and so deep and
they
so
just keep bringing them in.
Just run them at you. And they had no trouble with a team that won 30 games. Think about that. Think about that. This day and time, team wins 30 basketball games in the regular season and get absolutely blown out by a team in the state tournament. That's what we saw yesterday when Sacred Heart beat Lawrence County 79 or 78 to 33 or something like that.
Yeah.
It.
Well, Harold, you know, I'd hate to say this, but you take Sacred Heart, you might could put a pretty good all-star team together in the state tournament, and you probably wouldn't win that game.
You'd struggle with Sacred Heart, I guarantee you. Sacred Heart is very tough. They are so deep and so talented, and they have, believe it or not, only one senior on the whole team. That's their little point guard, Ralston, I believe is her name. She's a really good player, but they're just so much above the other teams I have seen. Now, granted, I have not seen Mercy play, and that's another team that supposedly has a girl about 6'3" that's a really good player, and look forward to seeing her as the tournament goes on. I think she'll play tonight. Let's run down what we have. Yesterday, Owensboro Catholic beat Bowling Green 54-51. Very competitive game. We talked a little bit about Sacred Heart. They beat Lawrence County 70-33. Mercer County and George Rogers Clark played last night. Good competitive ball game, 51-43.
You know, I thought GRC would win that game by more. Seemed like they struggled at times last night. And, you know, they're going to have to correct that because they're a pretty decent ball club, Harold.
They're going to play North Laurel.
Yeah, and if they don't play better than they did last night, North Laurel may give them may have an opportunity.
North Laurel came from behind to beat Frederick Douglass last night, and the closest game of the tournament to this point, 59-57. But, hey, North Laurel's got a nice ball club, got a couple of Sizemore girls that are sisters that are good players, and while they are a good team, I'm not so sure that they're quite good enough to come out of that top bracket.
It would be a challenge. Like I said, if Clark County plays to their capability, it'll be a tough game for them. Really
and then today, Nye County Central and Ashland Blazer. Boy, you're talking about getting off to a rough start. The Lady Patriots didn't score but one field goal in the first half. That was a three-point basket by Kylie Gayard. They scored a grand total of 1 point in the first quarter, 5 points in the second quarter. They had 6 at halftime. But the amazing thing was they were not out of the game. They were down 21-6 at that half, and came out and acquitted themselves very well in the second half.
Yeah, they played well the second half. They really did. The first half, they got themselves in a hole, like we mentioned earlier. I thought Ashland shot it till they made it, really, in the first 5-6 minutes of the game, especially. And you're right, Earl. Ashland really didn't. Their offense really wasn't outstanding. I mean, but Knott County just could not find the goal. It had a lid on it for a long time.
And second game this morning was McCracken County from Region 1, really laying a whipping on Bardstown Bethlehem. So they will be advancing to play Ashland. That game will come up Friday. And tonight it'll be Mercer taking on Cooper from Region 8, and Simon Kenton from Region 9 will play Henderson County, who for some reason always seems to be in the girls' state tournament. Henderson County's been there about as much as anybody.
Yeah, they do, and they usually come with a pretty good team most of the time. I don't know how well they'll do this year. There's some good teams in. Sacred Heart's good. Mercy team is. I think Mercy is not a bad ball club.
No, I think they will be one that will be competitive. Tomorrow, it looks like the quarterfinals will have Owensboro Catholic playing Sacred Heart. That's at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, followed by George Rogers Clark and North Laurel. And then tomorrow night's evening session, it'll be Ashland and McCracken County, and the two winners of the games coming up later on tonight between Mercy and Cooper, Simon, Kenton, and Henderson County. So a competitive Girls State tournament. It would be really competitive if Sacred Heart wasn't in it, you know. I mean, if Sacred
I
Heart,
think so too.
you're talking about a tournament to go watch. That would be interesting. But Sacred Heart's going to be awfully tough to beat. I don't think either one of us will go out too far on the limb when we say Sacred Heart's probably going to win this thing.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, it would be a major upset if they don't. I'll say that.
Well, our congratulations to Coach Justin Amberg in his first year as head coach of Nye County Central High School. He made it to the Sweet 16. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, talk a little boys basketball, look back at the regional tournament, and ahead to the state when we roll on from the Big Blue.
A lot has changed in 100 years. We've gone from the Model T to the electric car, from silent film to home theaters, and from the telegram to the iPhone. And through it all, People's Bank and Trust of Hazard has been there for local people. From paper checks to debit cards, from wire transfers to online banking, People's Bank has maintained a tradition of service while embracing the future for your financial needs. Celebrating a century of service to the mountains. People's Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
I was born and raised in Leslie County, and now I live and maintain my law practice in Hazard.
I came back home to the mountains to fight for mountain people. At Wilder and Mosley Injury Law, we love our communities and the people that live in them.
We want you to know that you have two attorneys fighting for you as hard as they possibly can that grew up in the communities and work in the communities that you're from.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, a slip and fall, or by an act of negligence, call us at Wilder and Mosley Injury Law. We are East Kentucky's trial team.
No matter what town or community you live in, there's a Tim Short dealership nearby. That's because our family of dealerships are dedicated to serving the folks throughout Eastern Kentucky. Our employees are your friends and neighbors, helping to support the local economy and provide safe and affordable transportation to everyone that shops the family of Tim Short dealerships. Our entire inventory can be found with a click of a button at timshortautogroup.com. Visit us online and join the thousands of customers that took the short drive to satisfaction today.
TVS Cable has everything you need to stay entertained. Video services with all your favorite channels and local sports on Hometown 24. Ask about digital voice service for home and business. High-speed internet so you never fall behind in a game. There's something for all ages. We've got you covered. Sit back and enjoy everything TVS has to offer. Stay connected with TVS.
If you're looking for a convenient pharmacy location with a friendly, caring staff, look no further than Hindman Pharmacy, located inside the new Hindman Primary Care Center. Our pharmacy is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 6:30, but always stays open until the last patient is seen. Whether you need to pick up your refills in our drive-thru, need a flavored medicine for your little ones, or something to feel better after a visit to the clinic, the Hindman Pharmacy inside Primary Care has got you covered. Located at 425 Hindman Bypass. Call the Hindman Pharmacy at 785-0513.
Welcome back to the Big Blue Smokehouse here in Hazard. I'm Harold Mullins along with David Adams. Thank you very much, Jack. Jacqueline is taking care of us very much. And if you come in here at the Big Blue, don't forget the bartenders and the waitresses. Tip them well with money. With money. Don't be reaching out and tipping these girls with money. But let's talk a little bit about the boys 14th region tournament. David, you and I was there for the entire tournament, and it was a very good tournament. You had talked earlier about the four teams that we thought would have a chance if everything was pretty much equal. Right. The four teams we thought that would have a chance to go to the state tournament would come from either Breathitt or Hazard, Purry or Letcher. And we look up on Saturday evening in the semifinal round, and lo and behold, we see Letcher and Purry, Breathitt and Hazard. No surprises at all in that semifinal round. No. But it was a great tournament.
You're right, Harold. It was, and those four teams we had picked earlier, we thought those four teams would be there, and I thought those were the four best teams. And it was a good semifinal.
Yes, it was.
No question about it. It's one of the better ones we've had in a while. I thought it was. Each team could have won. The Cougars could have won their game, and then Hazard could have won their game. I mean, it was that close, and it was just a good tournament all the way around. I thought Breathitt played great, or the best defense they played of the year those last two games. I really do.
I mean, you know, looking back at the season, you know, it was a season that none of us is going to forget for a very long, long time.
Right.
You had B.B. King resigning at Knox County Central, taking the coaching job at Breathitt County. In his first interview after being named head coach at Breathitt County, B.B. said, my job is to take them to the state tournament, and that is what I am here for. And I think had he lived, that probably, as it turns out, they are going to the state tournament. But it would have been quite a feat had he been able to go ahead and finish out the season and make another trip to Rupp Arena. But as the season started, I think you will agree with me, the Hazard Bulldogs won 29 of the first 32 games they played. They just beat everyone. Nobody in the region could play with them. Coach Al Holland went over 700 wins, a memorable year because of that. And his team just kept getting better and better, and it was obvious that they were going to be a team that somebody was going to have to beat. And it turned out in that semifinal round to be quite a semifinal game with them in Breathitt.
Yes, it was, Harold. And going back with Coach Holland and his Hazard Bulldog team, a splendid job by him again with this team. They were well organized. They played hard every time out, and that's a sign of being led the right way. And he did that. And you know, Smith was a big surprise. Landon Smith in the middle. I knew he could play, but he'd been out of basketball a year or two. But I tell you, he come right in there.
He seemed to be the one factor that seemed to pull them all together.
Right.
And as the season went along, he got better and better. And a lot of people thought, well, you know, he's going to take them to the promised land.
Yeah, and he come close to doing that.
Yes, he did.
You know, and but I thought he played extremely well this year to be out like that and come back. I really do.
You know, looking at that regional tournament, you know, Knox County had to play Breathitt the first game, and it was not a year that Knox County was going to contend for the region. I think everybody thought, you know, well, they played pretty good ball. They got better as the season went along. But this is one year you're not going to have to worry about Knox County Central beating you to get to the state tournament. And as it turned out, they were right. But I thought the surprise team from the very beginning could very well have been Letcher Central.
Yeah.
They went through a stretch and where they just kept getting better and better. They had everything. They had size, they had shooters, they had senior leadership. And boy, right down to the bitter end, they played everyone tough.
They did indeed, and that's Coach Taylor getting his team ready every time out, and they were ready. And he's come up there, and you know, his second year, he's won the district, and he's went to the semifinals of the region. So who knows?
Next step for Letcher Central is they got to win and go to the state tournament.
Yeah,
I think that the school needs to do that.
Yes, I agree, and you know, they've Huff played well for him. You know, he came in, transferred in, and Caden Adams, the guy in the middle, got stronger this year, and he could go out or in and hit shots. So you had Nichols, the guard, who I thought was an exceptional ball handler and a good defensive guard, Earl. So they had some good things going for them. They really did. Boggs was a fighter. He would be aggressive, and he'd hit a bucket for you as well. And you take Dixon on the boards. He worked extremely hard for that team, led them in rebounding, and he was a battler.
He, he was the consummate glue, the blue-collar worker.
Yeah.
Man, you needed a rebound, he'd get it for
Dixon
you.
would
You need
get
a put back or an and one, he would get it for you. And he's going to be a tough player next year. Don't lose him. He's going to be coming back in
him
and
Huff
Huff.
both.
So
Yeah.
they're going to have a good basketball
Yes,
team
they
next
will.
year. I think it'll take them into the season before they get to the point where they reach this year, because they're losing some awfully good players. But Coach Taylor will get them there. I don't have any doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
And we talked about Knox County Central and Coach Casey Huff came in there and man, the deck was stacked against him from the start. As far as he had very little returning talent. Of course, he had Drake and Hunter Haddock, but his inside people never played. And it took them a while to understand just how you're on TV. You never know what's going to happen on live TV.
When you get caught, you get caught.
You just
got caught like worse or something.
It's kind of funny. During the last commercial break, I turned around and said, "Where's Larry Thacker? I ain't never been in here." When he hadn't been here, well, he's here, folks. So just get over there and have you a seat, get you a drink, and we'll talk in a little bit. How's that?
But but there is a former official stopping by to see us, Earl.
I love live TV. I absolutely love live TV because you just never. Now Larry came out in the back way and came through. He had no idea we were here. He just stopped to say hello to two friends, and he was shocked when I said you're on live TV.
And another thing, Harold, I'd like to mention before we switch, Kyle Moore, the coach at Breathitt, when BB passed away, he still included Kay and in all the things he did, and always left things open and always mentioned BB. And that says a lot about Breathitt County Schools and Kyle Moore. And I think they handled that professionally and gracefully, and
as good as it could have been.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you something, Breathitt County, as the year went on and they got closer into the tournament, they picked up a lot of fans. They
did. They did indeed.
People wanted them to go to the state tournament. And lo and behold, when Sunday or Monday night was over, Breathitt County had won and was representing the 14th region in the boys state basketball tournament. I want to go back for a moment to that semifinal win over Hazard. As it turned out, it was a 2-point game. We got Kristen Collins at 2 free throws with 2 seconds to go.
Right.
I had somebody at the girls state tournament today, one of the people that work at the KHSAA office, asked me about the controversy of the last few seconds of that game. I said, well, I didn't realize there was any controversy. I think Breathitt County won the game by 2 points. What do you do, But of course there was a little bit. You can't convince people at Hazard that there wasn't some controversy, could you?
Well, that was a fast, 30, 35 seconds. You had a pass that went out of bounds, and then you have a guy driving that with a couple seconds on the clock. You normally leave that alone, but, it was called, and so he goes to the line and hits them. But I think if you ask Coach Holland, there was some plays back in the game that they had an easy chance of making or hitting a shot. As a coach, you always think, well, that play got me beat. Sometimes you have to look at a bunch of plays that you had
exactly
opportunity just for a layup or,
And let's not take anything away from the season the Hazard Bulldogs had.
Very good season.
And the
Very
Prairie
good.
County Central Commodore, I
Good
thought Ken
season.
Hoskins, got as much out of his talent as
He
anybody
did.
in the region. They were right there into the final championship game playing Breathitt. They beat Letcher in the semifinals and really had a shot to win, to go to the state tournament.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like as the season went on and the tournaments went on, it just seemed like it was destined to be. Breathitt was going to go to the state tournament, and they did. And we'll look at all that when we come back. We are live from the Big Blue Smokehouse in Hazard. People starting to come in and enjoy a beverage and watch some basketball. David and I is going to join him in a little bit. We'll be right back.
Come on over to Big Blue Smokehouse and have a good time with great food, mouth-watering barbecue, salad bar, and amazing new appetizers that will have you asking for more. And don't forget about the famous coal fire pizza. And if you're looking for a little Kentucky tradition, they have the best bourbon selection in all of Eastern Kentucky. Hosting a party, they got that covered too, with banquet rooms for all occasions. Good food, friendly service, a place for everyone to eat. Big Blue Smokehouse.
Nestled in the mountains of Appalachia, along the Purpose Road, is a hidden gem, Alice Lloyd College. For 100 years, ALC has been providing opportunities.
Opportunity to learn from the best.
Opportunity to work for my education.
Opportunity to serve my community.
Opportunity to become a leader.
Opportunity to find my life's purpose.
Apply now to find your purpose at Alice Lloyd College.
There's a reason our customers make the trip to Dan Cummins Chevrolet in Paris, Kentucky. There is something for everyone, and with over 2,000 new and used cars to pick from, we make it easy to become part of the Dan Cummins family. We want you to drive away in your new car just like over 10,000 of our satisfied customers have. Visit us at Dan Cummins Chevrolet.
Let me tell you one more time exactly how I feel. I'd rather drive to Paris for a Dan Cummins deal.
In Eastern Kentucky, being connected to the world has never been easier. With our 100 meg package at only $44.95 a month, you can be sure to always stay connected and up to date. But if that's not fast enough, we offer even faster, with the layest technology to make sure you're getting the most out of your service. Give us a call today or check out tgtel.com for more information. Thacker Grigsby, bringing the future to Eastern Kentucky. A lot has changed in 100 years. We've gone from the Model T to the electric car, from silent film to home theaters, and from the telegram to the iPhone. And through it all, People's Bank and Trust of Hazard has been there for local people. From paper checks to debit cards, from wire transfers to online banking, People's Bank has maintained a tradition of service while embracing the future for your financial needs. Celebrating a century of service to the mountains. People's Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
We're back and here at the Big Blue, and we're talking a little bit about high school basketball. We're going to preview the boys state tournament getting ready to get underway next Wednesday from Rupp Arena in Lexington. For you people that think I'm a homer because I got a Knott County shirt on here, what's that say? A K with volley. This is what happens when you have a daughter that is a volleyball coach. And Christmas comes around, and this is what you get for Christmas. So, hey, you gotta wear it. It was Knott County's day at the girls' state tournament. Had to show up and support the colors. Now we're going to have to get us a Breathitt shirt because the Bobcats are getting ready to hit the floor at Rupp, and we're going to be there to support them 150%.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about Breathitt County. They got better. Played a little bit better under control than what we had seen. I think when Austin Spurry plays under control, he's as good as anybody east of Lexington. I mean, he is such a tough matchup for teams. He's hard to stay in front of. He gets by you, gets in the lane, he goes to the foul line 10, 12 times a game, and he'll make and ones. He'll hit a three-pointer now and then. The Bobcats, their biggest downfall has always been they played out of control.
Yeah, Harold. Spurry sometimes gets on a fast break, may go too deep or may go into two defenders, but he had a great tournament. And you look at Bellamy.
Most valuable player.
Yeah, Bellamy on one side, Combs on the other. Both those guys can shoot the three ball, and they're both playing real well right now. You have Collins inside who can leap with anybody. That guy can get up. And Hoskins, of course, big, strong guy in the middle who can body up. So, you know, they're a tough matchup, especially for this year in their region. You know, I noticed against Perry in the finals, they really got after Perry. Perry didn't hit some shots that they normally hit, and Breathitt County, of course, goes down and takes advantage of that and hits some shots.
Of course, the basketball gods were not particularly good to the 14th region. In the draw, the 14th region drew the male Bulldogs from Louisville, and they will play in the first round of the state tournament. That they will play on at 11 o'clock on Thursday. So male and Breathitt will play Thursday at 11 o'clock.
I've got a question. Maybe somebody help us out, or maybe you already know, Harold, because you've got a lot of...
I seriously doubt it, but go ahead.
When is the last time the 14th got to play male? I know Knott County played them our first year we went
1975.
Semifinals. So is that the last time a 14th region team has played male?
That's been a long time.
Yeah.
And you would think that somewhere along the line they'd played again, but I don't recall that they have. I know that the 7th region representative, whomever it has been, has always come in as one of the favorites for the state tournament, and they will be again this year.
Oh, yeah.
Male will be one of the favorites for the state tournament. But I don't recall if the 14th region has played male in particular. Pretty sure they probably played the 7th region at some point, but I'm not real sure it was male. Although male, at one time, it was a foregone conclusion that male or Louisville Central was going to come out of that 6th and 7th region. Well, that's not been the case in the last few years. Granted, male was at the state tournament last year, and they have made it 2 years in a row. But before that, it was a drought for the male Bulldogs. But Coach Hayworth came from Hopkinsville up to male, and I sat and talked to him at the state tournament a couple of years ago, and he said he had some awfully good talent coming up. They've arrived, and we'll take a good look at them coming up Thursday afternoon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, I remember back when Knott County first consolidated, and they went down and played, and you had a guy named Darrell Griffith and Bobby Turner, who pretty good ball players that
in their own right.
Yeah, Marty, Herbie, Wendell, Joe, and Greg had to go out and face, and I believe on the...
They didn't match up real well.
No, the second or third fast break down, you could see the size of Darrell Griffith's shoe on the double twister dunk. So it didn't work out too good. But anyway, it's a good experience for Knott Central. They beat Johnson Central in the open round, and you know, had to play male the second game.
Now, last year was one of the better state tournaments I had seen in years.
Very good.
Close game. I enjoyed it so much last year. You and I and Coach B.B. King, we sat down there and we watched a lot of the state tournament together. Yeah. And truly saw some good basketball and truly enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah.
And I wish that we could do that again. I wish B.B. was here.
Absolutely.
And I'll surely think about him as I settle into my seat Wednesday afternoon for that first game. And speaking of the first game on Wednesday, it will be a pretty good country matchup. Jeffersontown, champions of District 6, will play the Woodford County Yellow Jackets, champions of Region 8, I believe. And I tell you, Woodford County's got a sophomore, Johnson, I believe is his name, but the kid is a good player. You know, he's a young player. He's a good player. They've been getting better. It's the first time they've been in a while. In Jeffersontown, I think the last time they were there, they won the daggone thing. I think they won the state tournament the last time they were there. They hadn't been there in a long time. Nerves could be a problem early on, but that should be a really good matchup.
Yeah, you're going to see some good matchups in this boys tournament, Harold. And you mentioned Mayle's probably the favorite, but there are some other good teams here. Clark County's back, of course.
Warren Central, I think, would have to be.
Yeah.
You know,
you would probably think of Clark County as the third or fourth team in this, probably.
Well, you know, you're looking at it, and Warren Central coming off of what they did a year ago, when, let's be honest, our buddy Josh was extremely lucky.
Very lucky.
Because Warren Central should have won that basketball game, but they did not. But they returned that team. They come back to Rupp this year, and I've got a feeling they're going to be awfully tough to beat. You know, I mean, a pretty good basketball team. And then you look, also, they will play Wednesday at 6 o'clock. The other afternoon game on Wednesday, Elizabethtown had a chance to watch their championship game against LaRue County the other night. They got a kid about 6'8". That Evans kid, that's a pretty good player. He may give McCracken County some problems. But daggone that McCracken County, since it's been a school now, third or fourth or fifth year, since they consolidated those small schools down in Region 1 into McCracken County, boy, they've been there in boys and girls and baseball and everything else. So that's a hotbed for athletes down there.
Oh, absolutely. And you had mentioned McCracken County, and you mentioned used to they'd come. But they've been in state tournament a few times, Earl, and have a good team, good program. So it'll be interesting to see their matchup that they have.
Owensboro will play Ashland Paul Blazer, and Warren Central will play Pulaski County. That is the Wednesday night games on the opening day of the tournament. Ashland lost their coach a year ago. They're back, been to the state tournament more than any other team. Ashland has. They'll play Owensboro, who is another team that seems to be, the Red Devils seem to be there every year, don't they?
Yeah, Owensboro turned out some good ball players down in there over the years too, Harold. Some of them be fortunate enough to play at the Big Blue. They're that good.
Yeah.
A guy named Chapman he wasn't that good, but he showed up at Big Blue and played pretty well.
Yeah.
So we'll go from there. But Owensboro, good program, good basketball program.
I tell you the team that I am really looking forward to seeing play. They're making their first trip to the state tournament. Frederick Douglass, the big high school. We were out by the high school just today.
Yeah.
What a beautiful high school that is. But they have won something like 28 or 29 games in a row. And you come out of there and you beat the little Catholic boys in the championship game of the 11th region.
Good.
And you got to be pretty decent. And I look for them to be the surprise team down there, because nobody's probably heard a whole lot about them. But boy, you don't win 30 games in Lexington at the high school level against the competition that they play without being a pretty good basketball team. Really looking forward to that matchup against Martin County, and another place where I think we'll find a mountain team maybe a little overmatched.
Yeah, there's no question about it. It'd be a big uphill climb for them, no question. Frederick Douglass was one of the teams. You know, Marty Mullins, their buddy, Harold, he goes to a lot of games down in that area. And he said that Lexington Catholic, Frederick Douglass, would come out of that, and he was right. So it'd be a uphill
A lot
climb.
of people down here in the Pick 16 contest would have paid a lot of money for that information.
I think Marty can help a fella if he was interested.
Meanwhile, the other two games on Thursday features two of the most talked about basketball players to come out of Kentucky in a long, long time. From down in Lyon County, there's a man that if he scores 20 points in the first game of that state tournament at 1:30 Thursday afternoon against Newport, he will become the all-time leading scorer in high school basketball in the state of Kentucky boys, and that would be moving him past the great King Kelly Coleman, and his name is Curry. Mr. Curry will have a few people looking at him. He's only a junior, already has been offered by the University of Kentucky and several others, so a lot of people are going to be looking at him.
Evidently, the guy can shoot.
You know, we saw him last year.
Yeah.
And we saw Reed Shepard last year, who's the other guy that's going to be playing Thursday night for North Laurel. Reed Shepard last year probably laid the biggest egg of anybody in the state tournament in a while. He did not play well against Pikeville. Pikeville took it to him, beat North Laurel, one of the tournament favorites in the first round of the tournament.
Yes.
And if I know the competitiveness of Reed Shepard and his background and his pedigree, he is chomping at the bit to get back to Rupp Arena and show people just how good a basketball player he is. Really looking forward to that North Laurel George Rogers Clark matchup in the first round.
Well, you know Coach Cook, he's got a pretty good ball club, Harold.
Well, he's got the most valuable player of the state tournament last year coming right back, Mr. Morton.
You can bet that the defense will be tough on Reed Shepard.
So you're saying you look for Josh to find a way to shut Reed Shepard down?
I think you can't shut a great player all the way down, but I think he'll try to slow him down. You know.
What do you think is the over and under point wise Reed Shepard gets against Josh Cook?
I'm going to say 15.
Clark County. You think he's going to hold him to 15?
I think that Josh Cook will make somebody else beat him other than Reed Shepard.
Well, that's an interesting figure. You know, and I
you
think very well could be right.
And I think he's got the guys to do it well.
And Reed Shepard, if he is nothing more, he is a good, heady, smart ball player, great passer.
Yeah.
So he may not score a lot of points.
You know, and if you keep him 20 or below, somebody else on that team has got to score some points because GRC will score points. They've got kids that will score.
Yeah, I really look forward. I think of all the first-round matchups, the George Rogers Clark North Laurel matchup and the Frederick Douglass, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play. I think they will probably win that game. But I'm really looking forward to see what Pulaski County can do with Warren Central. You and I know Pulaski County's got a great tradition down there in the state tournament. So a lot of interesting matchups in that first round of the state tournament. And if things continue, and let's just say for the sake of argument that North Laurel has a great game. Okay, and Reed Shepard rises above what we think that he'll be held.
And that's possible.
And that's possible. And they win that game. Let's say they beat George Rogers Clark.
Yeah.
And Lyon County beats Newport. Let's say they beat Newport. And then lo and behold, at 8:30 on Friday night in Rupp Arena, you will have the two best basketball players in the state going head-to-head in front of what I will promise you right now will be a full house at Rupp Arena.
No doubt, and probably we'll have to change the basketballs at each quarter because the leather will be shot off.
But, you know, all those things are just sidelights to look forward to. We're telling you what some of the things that could happen.
That is a possibility.
It's a very strong possibility.
Yeah.
You're looking at a possible matchup. Now get this. You're looking at a possible matchup Friday night. in the quarterfinals of the boys state tournament, a possible matchup of Louisville Male and Frederick Douglass. And Line and maybe either Clark County or North Florida.
Yeah, that is going.
Now, you talking about, you think ain't going to be nobody in the house for that ball game?
They will be. Everybody is down there that's planning on going to the tournament will be there. Period.
That is going to be a matchup. And that is, it is because of matchups like this that I have been to the state tournament for the last 50 years, and why I will continue to go as long as health will permit me.
I heard there was a seat down at Rupp Arena on the right. Well, I ain't going to mention the section. If you go in, it's got a name there, Harold Mullins. Where you been there?
I've had that seat so long. You're exactly right. And looking forward to getting there. And I got some friends. My brother's going down.
Yeah, great.
You'll be there.
Yep, be down.
Rodney Click's going down. It's going to be a good crowd. Now, Brandon, I'm going to let Rodney sit with you.
Harold, don't you do me any favors. Let's move on.
But it's going to be an enjoyment being in Lexington next week. We're going to take a break when we roll on from the Big Blue Smokehouse in Hazard. Stop by, join us, say hello. We've already had one man stumble in on the set. We'll do it again. We'll be right back.
When it comes to your family's health care, making the right connection is easy with just a call, click, or visit to one of Mountain Comprehensive Health Corporation's clinics serving Eastern Kentucky and Southwest Virginia. Our providers cover the full spectrum of medicine for the whole family, as well as specialty and support services such as pulmonary, optometry, dentistry, and podiatry, plus on-site labs, x-rays, nutritionist, and more. Call today for an appointment or telehealth visit. Now accepting Virginia Medicaid. Mountain Comprehensive Health Corporation.
Home sweet home. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we've been providing our friends and neighbors the sweet dream of homeownership since 1960. We're proud to support the community we work and live in. That's why we take so much pride in providing competitive rates, low closing costs, and quick turnaround by local decision makers. Investing and growing our community is what we do. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we believe that there's no place like our home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Just want to watch the game.
That turn on the ceiling fan. Use the gray remote. Hit power, then input.
It's not working.
That's the silver one.
It might be difficult to understand what all the remotes on your coffee table do. But with a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent in every county, at least it's easy to get great insurance. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Next time, I'll just go to the game.
AppalachianWireless.com is here to make your life easier and save you money. Sign in or create a self-care account to pay bills, view usage, or check contract dates. You can also apply for paperless billing and auto pay to save up to $5 per phone per month on postpaid plans. Forward pay customers, you can also renew or change your plans and pay your bills online as well. It's self-care at AppalachianWireless.com because we are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Welcome back to the big. Why am I having a hard time saying Big Blue Smokehouse? I have not had any adult beverages. What is wrong with me? My tongue is tied. I don't know. But anyway, we're having a good time. Good crowd on hand at the bar here as they're watching some pretty good basketball going on. We're going to take a look. I'm going to let you tell me who you think we will see playing for the state championship on Saturday night. I will trust your judgment and will give you the first opportunity.
On Saturday night, well, I'm going to guess Louisville Male. No, wait a minute. No, I'm going with Male. I'm going with Male in the bottom bracket, even though North Law, Clark County, and all them's there. Who?
Oh, Josh hates you.
I know.
That. He's gonna hate you. I'll wait till I see him down at the state tournament.
And Warren Central. I'm going to go that way.
Boy, you going out on a big limb, aren't you?
I am. Warren Central was there last year. They had a lot of kids back.
And who wins?
Warren Central.
Warren Central. So David Adams has predicted Warren Central to be the state champion.
You got Louisville Male, don't you?
I'm going to go out on a limb, okay? I'm going to pick a dark horse. I seriously going to pick a dark horse. I'm going to pick Frederick Douglass.
That's not a bad pick.
I'm going to, you know, that, and I know they're making their first trip ever, but from the lower bracket, I think Frederick Douglass. I just have been impressed, David, with their strength of schedule.
Yep. They had a good schedule.
I have been impressed with their level of play. They have not had any time during the year where they have hit a valley, where they've lost some games they shouldn't have, and normally teams do that.
Yeah.
And playing the schedule that they have played, they have been remarkably consistent.
They played tough.
And
schedule.
I think they're going to be a team that just might show up Saturday night and in the top bracket. Well, it ain't no use for me looking. I can't go against Warren Central. We saw them play last year.
Yeah, they got a lot of those guys back.
I mean, they
too.
got their team back. Warren Central, Frederick Douglass.
But you know, the favorites, as we talk about, the strong teams don't always win. Who knows?
I would have picked Warren Central without any hesitation or reservation of any kind if they had not almost laid an egg in that championship game against Bowling Green. Now, they had played Bowling Green a couple of times during the year and had just absolutely worn them out.
Yeah.
Had been no contest. And then lo and behold, it comes the championship night in the 4th region, and you look down and the score is tied at 50 and they're heading into overtime. Man, let me tell you something. I know they're well coached. I know they've got great athletes. And they'll probably breeze through this state tournament. But boy, that game scares me. You an old coach?
Yeah.
You know, can you throw a clunker in like that?
You know,
and then come back and play with it?
Who knows? This Line County, North Laurel, they may shock somebody that they don't supposed to beat. Does North Laurel supposed to beat Clark County? I don't know. If you look at the kids,
probably not.
Probably not, but they could win that. And who knows what way that may turn. That's what makes it so special this time of the year in Rupp Arena. You just never know.
You just never know. And we're going to change our focus real quickly. We got a couple of minutes left on our live show here at Big Blue, and talk a little bit about the SEC tournament. It's in mid-swing. Quarterfinal rounds will be tomorrow. We've already got some of the tomorrow's games set. Mississippi State will play Alabama in the morning. Tennessee will play Missouri. Looks like Arkansas and Auburn, who's playing right now, will play Texas A&M, and then Kentucky will get the winner of the last game tonight. That is LSU and Vanderbilt, and you got to believe that's probably going to be Vanderbilt. So it looks like 4 good games. Who do you like in the SEC tournament?
Well, you know, Alabama's playing well, but, you know, the favorite don't always win the SEC tournament.
And they've had one of those clunkers thrown in.
You know, Kentucky is playing fairly well right now. They're still beat up at the guard position. I don't know how that's going to play for them. Harold, it's hard to go against Big Blue. I mean, you know, I like them. Hey, Tennessee's got tradition now. Who knows? But I like Kentucky if they come to play.
So you're going with the homeboys?
I'm going to stay with the home team.
Well, I'm gonna bet my mind and not my heart, and I'm gonna.
I know you're going to say Alabama.
No. I'm going to say Texas A&M.
Texas A&M's a good tournament.
I'm going to say Texas A&M wins the SEC tournament. We'll see who's right. But we want to tell you all of our sponsors and all the people that have taken time out throughout the season to stop by, say hello to David and I, send us a text, send us a message.
And all of our student athletes, principals and schools.
You know, all the administration at all the schools, the student athletes that have treated us with so much respect and have been there and holler at us and enjoy seeing us come on the scene. It makes our job so much easier.
It does.
And it makes old guys like us keep hanging around this very special,
and we want
special game.
TBS and Hometown 24
Oh, yeah.
for letting us
Devin
do
and
this.
Josh
Yeah.
and all the guys that all year long have done all the backbreaking work to try to make me and you look good. It's never going to happen, but they put their best foot forward. We thank them so much for allowing us to do this.
Absolutely.
And we're going to Rupp Arena next week. We hope to see you there, and let's see who's the smartest, the Hall of Famer or the old broadcaster.
You know who'll win. You know.
Good night, everyone, from the Big Blue Smokehouse in Hazard. Stop by. Not a bad place to wet your whistle or eat a steak. Good night, everyone.